need you, boo. I gotta see you, boo. And the hearts all over the world tonight. Said the hearts all over the world tonight. I need you, boo. Oh.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Becca. I know I've been gone for a long time, so you guys probably missed me. I'd like to assume that you do. It's 2015, and I am drinking Moscato d'Asti, and it's actually my first sip. I haven't been drinking much lately. So, there is a lot of background noise at my house right now, so I decided to put on some music. And I'm hoping it's not going to drive you guys nuts, so I'm going to turn it down a little. Anyways, I was looking for a topic to talk about today. And I stumbled upon one that I thought was kind of decent. And we had talked about nightclubs before. A lot of us go there to kind of unwind after a weekend of hard work and, whatnot. So we had discussed what to wear for the women, what not to wear for the men, what to wear, all that good stuff. So let's get to the psyche behind going to a nightclub. And there is one, believe it or not. So I wanted to tackle that. And of course, still got my e-cig. Trying to cut down on the smoking, so that's a plus, I suppose, for the new year. Well, typically, I like to go out to the club at around 10-ish. The scene is pretty dead by then. There's nobody in there yet. There's a few random people, but you can pick out a nice spot to talk with your friends and not have to deal with, so much noise. And, I don't know, you kind of get to know the bartender. And I know that doesn't really seem important to you, but communicating a rapport with the bouncer and the bartender is actually a lot more important than many of us think. You never know when you're going to need either of them. And with the bartender, I have a little trick I'll tell you about some other time, and that kind of works to my benefit. With the bouncer, equally important to keep them happy and be nice to them. Make their job as easy as possible. So, with that said, you go into the club like I did recently with my girlfriend Cheryl. Cheryl, mwah, miss you. And basically, we have our drinks, we order our drinks, we start slow. Or if you're me, I'll typically take a shot right after my first drink to kind of calm me down, get the nerves relaxed a little. And, you scan the room, obviously. If there's a lot of freaks and weirdos in there, I suggest you just keep your conversation between you and your friend. But, mingling is half the fun of going out, right? So why be so critical and not want to open yourself up to talking to random people? So doing that, I did some research online and found that what I was thinking was the exact opposite. I thought men put forth most of the work at a night at a club, okay? Come to find out, it's actually the women, okay? And the reason is we do these signs, or signals, if you will, that allow a guy to read into it and see if we're interested or not interested. So, mainly we pick out the guy and we'll start messing around with our hair, If you're looking at me, I do this a lot because I typically wear hair extensions and they don't just sit. They have like this texture to them that causes them to get kind of funky. So this is my natural length. I'm not wearing extensions right now. I hate it, but I figured I'd give my hair a break. So the playing with the hair while looking at you is a better indication of if they're interested or not. So that's one. Eye contact. I say it has to be more than twice for it to be considered something that a person's interested in. Why? This is going to sound mean, and I apologize for this, but I look at random people and there could be something up with their face or something like, okay, I went to the club and there was this guy that looked identical to Wolverine. And I'm not telling you because he had the sexy eyes. No. This guy had the facial fuzz of Wolverine, and it was like he loved the movie, he was obsessed with the character, and he went to a barber, and then he went in with eyeliner and filled in the rough patches. I mean, he really got it down perfectly to the point where I almost wanted to take a photo with him just to say it's Wolverine, but I didn't. Instead, with his misreading and misinterpreting of me looking at him, started to get creepy, and I decided to create a barricade of my guy friends to keep him away from me, which worked wonderfully, by the way. So if a girl looks at you more than twice and she's smiling, chances are she's really kind of, feeling you out, and she likes what she sees so far. Another indication is I will start to look down and I will start to fumble, just so that I'm not looking like a creep, just staring like endlessly at somebody repeatedly, and just, that's just creepy. So I will try to keep myself as occupied as I can with the bar napkin, the straw, whatever, deep in conversation, even though we're just talking about something purely random and uninteresting. I'll do that just for the mere chance of trying to avoid any craziness. So it's really not easy to read into body language as much as many of us think. All it takes for you to do is to go onto YouTube and search videos, and everybody has their own take of what body language typically means to them or for them. And when discussing body language, it's all about not just one thing, not the way they move their hands, not the way particularly that they, move their hair. It's a compilation of everything together. Now, if their whole body, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but if their whole body is basically smiling and relaxed, then chances are that you have the ability to go forward, present yourself, and see what happens from there. If you don't take that chance, then you may always wonder about it. And I'm at a point in my life where I don't like that. I don't like always wondering about whether I should have done this or should have said that. So, I say take it and go with it. If not, like what's his name says, blame it on the alcohol, and move on. Move on to a different person. You can almost consider a bar or a nightclub scene like speed dating. Move on if it's not working for you. Don't sit there out of guilt. I mean, it could be the other way around. This person could totally be digging you and you're just not into it. Once you realize how shallow they are or how awkward the conversation is, you should find a nice way to dig out. Now, what's a nice way to dig out is say, I came here with my friend. I'm strictly here to, keep them company. We haven't hung out in a while. You can give me your phone number. I'd love to contact you sometime, but I'm going to go head over there. And that's a way to get out of a conversation. And so, there's many things you could do. Now, what are good ways to open up? Don't use the classics. Don't be so caught up into the typical, hi, I'm so-and-so, blah, 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 blah is what I hear after a while because it's so boring. Get creative with it. Someone asks you what you do for a living. You could be a scorpion wrangler, for God's sakes. It happens, believe it or not. It really does. Other openers. I saw this guy leaving a bar early, which he looked like he was doing. He had his drink, he was closing out his tab. And I remember saying, wow, leaving so early. It was like midnight. And he smiled and looked at me and he said, 'cause I am dirt broke. Now, this, mind you, is honesty. Give honesty. Like, even if the girl is shallow, then the better off you are going to be, because she's going to end up digging out and you're not going to have to deal with her for the rest of the night, even though she's attractive or not. So keep it real. In that situation, the guy's telling the female that, hey, I'm broke, I'm having a great time, I drink a lot, you know, it's honesty. Don't kill him, you know, for being honest. Unless you're a hooker and you're looking for some income that night. In that case, men, avoid females that are dressed in ways that you would not typically go for in a mall. Because, okay, yeah, we all dress up. We don't wear the same crap that we wear to malls. But the point is, okay, one night stands at bars. Should they be happening? You know, who am I to judge? My guy friends mainly go out there with that approach, that mindset. They're hoping that they're going to hook up with a girl that night. Does it happen? No. It rarely happens, but that's what they're dressed for. That's what their predatory look on their faces all about when they walk into a club. They look thirsty, you know, but you know, if you're down for that, at least keep it clean. You know what I'm talking about. Go for a girl that's not wearing itty bitty metallic shorts that show half her ass cheek hanging out. You know, a girl that, you know, doesn't have her hands all over every single dude in the club, you know, groping and all this. And, you know, that doesn't look sloppy. It doesn't look like she's going to just fall into any dude's arms, you know. Have some standards at that point. Females, be careful, because I know you. I am one of you. You'll go out for that one night stand, you'll be okay with it because you're drunk or your friend's hooking up with somebody. And then comes the typical problem. You catch feelings. We women, men, you want to hook up with us, but here's the problem. Know this. You can't tell us not to catch feelings. We are emotional women, full of feelings in everything we do. Everything we do holds some sort of meaning emotionally to us. So if you're going to think that it's going to be a random thing and that this chick's going to move on, before you go calling her a crazy bitch, she just might be a good girl that has feelings for people and doesn't have sex with people just because, you know, like I go buy shoes just because. I, you know, switch my pack of gum just because. A girl may not feel that way about her vajayjay, okay? And that's okay. And that is what most of us are like. So if you want to hook up with a girl, understand that that is a characteristic that many of us have. And calling us a crazy bitch for it is just stupid and shallow. Because we're not, you know, shallow people, the majority of us. Guys are the same way. Guys will typically hook up with a girl on a one-night stand the first night he meets her and never call her back. Why? Because he doesn't really respect her. He used her to scratch an itch, and that was strictly it. It didn't go further than that, and it's not going to go further than that. So females, if that happens to you, it's time for you to move on and to block his ass. And you know, so I am defending both sides when it comes to the one night stand thing, and I think you people get what I'm saying. So this chick is out. Next video is going to be about how to handle the morning after the one night stand. Catch you later. Bye.
Good. Trick or treat, let's do it.
Bottoms up.